Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Celente, and it's August 10th, 2023. And here are some of today's trends in the news. And remember, the trend is your friend, and you're not getting it anywhere else other than the Trends Journal. History before it happens. But of course, all those libtards and other dumbbells that are against freedom and are too stupid to think for themselves, they'd hate the Trends Journal because it's the truth in trends. It's history before it happens. And the history is happening now that we have forecast. Hey, today the big news in America was the inflation numbers came out, and they weren't as bad as they thought. The street only guessed 3.3% rise, but they came in at a lot lower, 3.2% in July. Who the fuck you talking to? 0.1%. Oh, and these are bullshit numbers, by the way. Oh, don't believe me. Go to Shadow Stats. Yeah, they rigged the numbers so they wouldn't have to pay more in Social Security and could keep pretending that the economy was doing okay. So these numbers are nothing more than pure
bullshit
from
bullshit.
That's right. From the bullshitters that the morons and imbeciles swallow. It's America. Look at them. The people eat shit, they look like shit, and they swallow political shit. Blimpitis. So, the markets today, they were way up when the numbers came out. But they didn't close up that much anymore. And oil prices went down a little bit. Gold's still down. And it's August. And people don't have a fucking clue what's going on. So here's what they reported. Annual inflation slowed more than expected, a welcome sign for consumers. You know what that is?
Bullshit.
Who have been grappling with high costs. Oh, now everything is okay. You've been grappling with high costs, and now the numbers didn't come in that high. Hey, fuckface, how about everything that went up? How about autos? What it cost? How about what it cost to buy a house, to rent an apartment? On and on and on. Oh, and how about those big corporations? Oh, again, blimpitis, all the people that drink their Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola. Yeah, their sales were down, but their revenue went up because they raised the prices, along with all that stuff that Unilever sells. Oh, the revenues went down. People bought less, but we raised the prices. Are you going to fucking lower them now? Fuck off. Of course we're not. We'll get every penny that we can. We are in control of the world. We're the bigs. You're nothing more than a low-life piece of shit. You're a plantation worker of Slavelandia. So do what the fuck you're told. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. What else? While July's annual inflation was higher than June, it's still a sizable drop from the 8.5% reading 1 year ago. You ready? Nearly all of the monthly inflation came from shelter costs. Shelter costs? Who the fuck are you talking to? Shelter costs. Oh, you mean shelters for homeless? That's what they call when you used to own a home. Now it's a shelter. Renting an apartment, that's a shelter. This is the fucking bureaucrats that throw this shit out that they teach you to swallow in kindergarten. Time to take a nap. Okay, yeah, I'm not tired, but I'll take a nap. You told me to. And it keeps fucking going on. Shelter costs. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, what else we got here? Again, you go to your Trends Journal this week. Credit card debt off the fucking charts. Defaults going on and on and on. All this is nothing more than mainstream
bullshit.
So here you go. Increases. Motor vehicle insurance. Hey, what did we say about insurance going up? No, that's only up 17%. Oh, but butter went down 1.1%. Food from vending machines. Who the fuck would eat food from vending machines? Well, the people in blimpitis. That went up 14%. Motor vehicle maintenance repairs. Hey, there's a guy. This is the fucking fat fuck that wants to steal more of our money and saying how we have to fight in Ukraine. When this fucking guy, they wouldn't make a paper bag big enough to put him in to fight at her. That's Chris Christie, the scumbag from New Jersey. What exit? Well, that fucking guy, it's any exit you turn off, you'll see him. Anyway, motor vehicle, we've been saying this. We've been saying, how long have I been saying all this insurance costs are going up? Frozen fruits and vegetables. What are you eating fucking frozen shit for? That went up 11%, 11.8. Leased cars, 10%. White bread, 10.7%. Sugar and sweets, 8.9%. Rent and primary residence, 8%. But televisions went down 10.9%. And major appliances, 9.9%. Who gives a fuck about that? Again, the prices went way up. They went way up. They're not coming down that much. You ready? CNBC. 2023 rents in Manhattan hit a new high in July. The average monthly rent was $5,588, up 9% over last year. Isn't that great? Yep. Isn't that sensational? That's all. Yep. No inflation. We're not going to add that in. Fuck off with that. Okay. A clear majority of investors expect a U.S. recession before 2024 is out. That's a Bloomberg release of Markets Live Pulse survey. 2/3 of the respondents anticipated downturn. Yep. And repeating what we said for how long? The poll results are considered blah, 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 which shows traders expect the central bank to cut interest rates multiple times in 2024. No shit. They do it all the time. It's the presidential reality show, and you've got to be a fucking stupid moron to see who's running the show and that they're not in control. This is the current Fed head. The former Fed head, Yellen, is our Treasury Secretary. I mean, could you believe this, Ms. Facha Brut? Oh, you people tell me watch your language. Fuck you. Fuck you. Swallow their proper bullshit. Get this in your head. When you're in the fight for your life, there is no proper language that you use. The proper language is, don't fuck with me. You got it? And all you little clowns up there, where the fuck were you for the peace rallies? How come you're not putting your money where your heart and mouth is? I don't want to hear your bullshit. Get the fuck off here. Listen to Jake Tapper and take it up the ass from Anderson Cooper. He'd love to do that. So, moving on. Private equity offers discount fees as deal-making drought deters investors. Deal-making drought. Fucking no deal-making drought. The scumbags, the fucks that brought those interest rates down to zero to fight the COVID war, allowed the bigs to get bigger and all these deals made, buying up everything, as we wrote about continually. And you had merger and acquisition at an all-time fucking high in 2021. Yeah. Wonder why they can't come up with more dough. China push to revive economy lags. Foreign investment in China dropped more than 80%. Exports to the United States down 18.6%. EU down 5%. Yep. We warned you about this. China launched the fucking COVID war on Chinese Lunar New Year, the year of the rat in January 2020. You look at our magazine cover, we were the first to call the bullshit. Coronavirus. 106 dead in China, 1.4 billion still alive. The new Black Plague. And don't call it a pandemic. They called it a pandemic on March 11, 2020. Again, the thing just began in January. About 4,000 people in 114 countries were killed by the virus. And the data came out that at least 30% of them had pre-existing comorbidities. So hardly anybody died, and they call it a pandemic. And 93% of, more than 93, 99.93% of the people are still alive. So China did this to themselves. This is going to be disastrous. You got to look at their export numbers. Again, it's all in your Trends Journal. You go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com. We're giving you what no one else in the world is giving. No one else is coming close to it. And it's the grand total of less than a shitty cup of coffee a week. One cup of coffee. $2.86 a week. Look what you're getting. Look what you're getting. Week after week after week after week. This one was only about 160 pages. AI set up to upend staff search at ad firms. So I'm mentioning this because each week we do AI. AI, we own you. Each week, number of columns and analysis. And Technocracy by Joe Duran, the technocracy man of all times, Be Human, essays on considering transhuman self-destruction. We have those technocracy trends, high-tech science trends, COVID war, geopolitical, socioeconomic, on and on and on and on and on and on. Look at the comments. And again, if you don't like it, 30-day money-back guarantee. Because if you read the shit that they're shoving down your throat on the mainstream media or anybody else, you're getting crap. And again, you could listen to it if you don't have time to read it. Okay, WeWork says that it doubts that it can stay in business. No shit. We only warned about this how long ago? And this is part of the office building bust, but this was going down before the office building bust. You ready for this? Gallup poll. Can't call this a conspiracy theory. You know why I'm so upset? Because I'm an American patriot. And I love this country, and it breaks my heart to see how it's being destroyed in front of our eyes. Is America corrupt? From scandals to systems, evaluating government corruption in 2022. The countries. The most corrupt, they rate Mexico. We're right there with them, tied. The United States, 74% of the people say it's a corrupt country. Yep. You got it. Oh, Russia doesn't even come in here. Biden asked Congress for additional $24 billion to spend on Ukraine war. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? The fucking infrastructure is rotten in this country. People are suffering, living paycheck to paycheck. And another $24 billion, which brings it up to now $137 billion. Yep. And all those libtards, watch them vote for it. Yeah, just like they did before. But 55% of Americans are against sending more money, but fuck you. Fuck you. It's the military-industrial complex, and where mad men and mad women murderers will kill any fucking body we want to, anywhere, anytime. And Celente, you may be on the list. Yep. 24 billion more bucks. So this is an article from Financial Times. It was July 21st. Vladimir Zelensky says Ukrainian counteroffensive about to gain pace. Yep. Ukraine's president insisted his military counteroffensive against Russia was about to gain pace. We are approaching a moment when relevant actions can bring pace because we are already going through some mine locations and we are demining these areas. Yep. Huh. Ukraine orders evacuation of key city near Kharkov. The move comes following reports that Russian troops are advancing in the area. Oh, what was the cover of our magazine before this bullshit came out? Don't count on the counteroffensive? That's your Trends Journal. But we're saying nobody else is. No magazine is. Other people are saying it, like Douglas McGregor and Scott Ritter and others, Phil Giraldi. So here he's saying they're winning, right? And this is an article from the Cartoon News Network. Western allies receive increasingly sober updates on Ukraine's counteroffensive. This is the most difficult time of the war. Yeah, no shit. How about this one? From Monday's Wall Street Journal. Ukraine's bid to retake Bakhmut falters. Hey, but wait a minute. Zelensky said we're going to win. And so did all the American experts say Ukraine was going to win. This is the bullshit that they've been feeding us, and now they're stealing more of our money to go there. And this article is, there's this one about Zelensky. There's something in the back here of it. Senator Jim Risch, a top Republican on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said the Biden administration had been too slow to send systems such as main battle tanks and cluster munitions. I'm tired of hearing about escalation. Stop talking about escalation. If we don't escalate, you're going to lose, he said. I want Vladimir Putin to wake up in the morning worried about what he's going to do that's going to cause us to escalate instead of wringing our hands. Okay. Hey, Reich, go over there and fight. Why don't you go over there and fight or shut your fucking mouth? Shut your fucking mouth. Any one of you political pricks, and I can't say the other word, that vote to escalate the war, shut your fucking mouth and go over there and fight. And send your wife and your transgenders and your wokes and everybody else. And this guy, Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, the sheer magnitude of American assistance made it clear that the U.S. was prepared to take risks, and we will continue to be prepared to take risk to provide support for Ukraine. Isn't this great? Where are the people? You better support Occupy Peace, because if you don't, don't. Don't do anything for peace. Swallow the shit. Go to war. Let them steal your money. Be a fucking coward. You ready? It is responsible for every member of NATO, including the United States, to think about Russian reaction when we choose to do something, because that matters for our security. It matters for global stability. Sullivan said. This guy Sullivan looks like he's the great-great-grandson of Goebbels. That had nothing to do with our fucking security. This is between Ukraine and Russia. You are expanding this war. And then, again, we're warning about one of our Middle East meltdown, one of our top trends for 2023. U.S., Iran, jostles for control of Gulf. This is from Al Jazeera. Yep. Middle East meltdowns right there for you. The U.S. beefs up its military presence in the Gulf in the wake of confrontations with Iran. Yep. This week, the U.S. beefed up its presence by sending more than 3,000 troops and soldiers on 2 warships. And then Iran commented, What do the Persian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, and the Indian Ocean have to do with America? What is your business being here? Iranian Armed Forces spokesman, Brigadier General, whoever his name is, Shekarachki, said this week over the U.S. buildup. He's 100% right. What the fuck are we doing over there? What if Iran was down the Gulf of Mexico? What if China was off the coast of California and Russia's going up and down the coast of New York? Oh my God, how could we allow that? What the fuck are we doing over there? I'll tell you what the fuck we're doing over there. We got demonic, evil people running and ruining the world. Here, tiny little article. Look at this article, buried in the Wall Street Journal. Yesterday, conflict displaces over 4 million. Sudan's escalating conflict has driven more than 4 million people from their homes, including over 884,000 who have fled to neighboring countries, the United Nations officials said on Tuesday. Who gives a fuck? Hey, how about Ukraine? We'll care about Ukraine. You care what's going on in Yemen? No, we'll keep killing the people over there too. Nobody gives a shit about this, but they make a big fucking deal about Ukraine. And again, you could thank the colonists for this disruption. And again, we got a lot more. And it's all in your Trends Journal. Again, go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com, and watch out what's going on in this Niger coup over there, what happened there and the United States is doing, and on and on. This thing's going to get very serious. There may be a big outbreak of war in Africa. It's already been going on. What happened in Ethiopia with the Tigrays? What's a Tigray? Yeah, I know. No, it's not Grey Tea. It's not. People don't know dick about shit. We're telling you everything you need to know. It's in your Trends Journal, trendsjournal.com, and spread the word. We need more subscribers. We want to get the word out. We're fighting for peace and freedom. And you better do your part to do it too, because if you don't, we're going to be finished. You know, it's, again, people say I'm angry. St. Thomas Aquinas says that anger is fundamentally one of the passions of the soul, and like other passions, it is part of human nature and has appropriate role to play in the human pursuit of good when directed by reason. He who is not angry when it is just cause for anger is immoral. Why? Because anger looks to the good of justice, and if it could live amid injustice without anger, you are immoral as well as unjust. And I am angry, and that's why we have these T-shirts for you. Whoops. That's the back. Here's the front. Hey, politicians. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? And here's the back. And you can get all different sizes, shapes, and whatever you want. You got them all for the summer, for the winter, for now. And again, you got these little dickheads like this guy, the senator, saying we got to send more armaments, and Biden and all steal more of our money. It's very sad, but I surround myself with beauty. Watch that video, The Other Side of Celente. You know, so there's more than one me here. And I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter for the Prince of Peace. So thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to watch the video we put up last night with Celente and the judge. You're not going to want to miss it. The Constitution in America is dead.
At the Trends Journal, the best investment you could make, because it's the best investment into your mind, and it can change how you look at the world.
His work is actually a gold mine. Anybody interested in politics, political trends, economic trends, social trends, cultural trends, you have to follow him, Gerald Celente.
The Trends Journal is one of the greatest sources of information, and and it really is. You're predicting these things well ahead of time. I would encourage everyone to go grab the latest copy.
Been a Trends Journal subscriber for 20 years. I just have to commend you. What you guys have put together in your latest Trends Journal, there's nothing like this out there.
Sir, everything that you predicted about the economy, you were absolutely right. So I have followed you all this time. So please take a look at the Trends Journal.
You correctly forecast that the Fed would hike rates quite aggressively, correctly said that initially gold and silver would drop as the Fed starts to raise rate to 1.5% and above. When we spoke last, Bitcoin was around 49,000. You said you expect to drop, and if it drops below 30, 35, then it could really drop.
Trends Journal, which I would encourage people to go and check out. It's actually a 200-page document, pure data-driven analysis.
Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster in the world. Gerald, you had an interesting call back in September of last year. You said gold had bottomed, which is exactly what happened. And here we are, and we're above $1,900.
Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happened at trendsjournal.com.